Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Dakhla. We are here for the final stage of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup. This is where we're going to be crowning our world champions. It is day 2 today. Yesterday, we were able to get through 3 rounds. Let's check out that highlight video and see what action went down.
So we're at the last spot of the year in Dakhla here at West Point, and we have some pretty good waves. The bank is good. You know, we're waiting for the wind, but it's going to be interesting.
I'm excited. Yeah, this is a really similar wave to my home spot, so it works well with me, and my equipment feels really tuned in here.
Heat by heat, turn by turn, trick by trick, and I'm gonna go fall.
Let's go for it. I'm ready, man. I'm relaxing. I'm not gonna fight for the world title because that's gonna be too hard. We know James is on fire this year.
World title, yeah. Well, I mean, if I win, it will come. So that's the goal.
Welcome to Dakhla, everybody, in Morocco for the final stage of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup. We are here in front of the West Point Hotel. This location is known to be one of the longest waves in the Atlantic. You can just see these nice right-handers peeling all the way. Starts off with a chunky first section, then flattens out through the middle, all the way down to the end of the competition area where it jacks up one more time.
Where I believe all the point will come through from the judges is the second and the third section, which is pretty steep, which is nice to hit, and the wind direction is perfect, and especially it's not gusty.
We've seen some very good heats making it all the way through to round number 3 today. Pedro Matos, Sebastian Ribeiro, Reese Meyer-Scott and James Carew are the standouts. Judges are looking for the fluidity, the surf, they're looking for linking the maneuvers, hitting it in that critical position, and these guys were performing incredibly. Sebastian Ribeiro back on tour, we haven't seen him for a while, taking the highest wave score of the day with an 8.4, really pushing that surfing style, linking it together, and just has that flow. Then also James Carew, no surprise, one of the biggest contenders for the World Championship, because don't forget, in Dakhla we're going to be crowning our world champion. Had a nice first section, a couple of power moves. This is why we call him the powerhouse from Australia, all the way down and had a nice air, one of the first waves we've seen. And let's not forget, if he makes it through to the quarterfinals tomorrow, we will have a new world champion. What a great way to start off the final events of the season. We've had waves, we had wind, third round. Let's not forget that tomorrow we will be going live, so make sure you tune in because the battle for the world title is going to be on your screen. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Morocco here in Dakhla. I'm Josie Asher, and sitting with me here in the booth here is Gemma Hermione. Gemma, how are you doing?
Good, Joe. Thanks a lot. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. We're super stoked to be here in Dakhla, Morocco, the most spectacular wave location, one of the best stops of the World Tour. The conditions have just kicked in this afternoon. We're finally getting started. We've been on hold a little bit this morning. Joe, how do you think the conditions are looking now?
Conditions are definitely looking good. Like you said, this is one of the longest right-hand waves we have in the whole Atlantic. The waves are a little smaller today than we had yesterday, but we think that with the change of the tides, it's going to pick up. Already seen the girls starting out there. We're currently going to be starting heat number 5 of the ladies in about 2 minutes. And like you say, wind is picking up, the sun is shining. There was a bit more clouds yesterday, so yeah, ready to get into some action.
Everybody's ready to get into action. This event is very important. We're going to be crowning our world champions here in Dakhla, and the doors are still wide open. So there's a few strong possibilities, but there's still a lot of things that can change.
There's definitely pretty much 4 contenders on each side. You know, in the guys, you have the main contender at the moment is James Carew from Australia.
Australian powerhouse.
He has, yeah, exactly. And together with Peri Roberts, also the Aussie, they're the leading overall ranking. James only has to reach the quarterfinals and he will be crowned world champion, and then Peri has to reach the semi-finals and she will be crowned world champion. Absolutely. Then kind of mixing it up at the end. There's a few different scenarios, but yeah, really looking forward to seeing the fire and the power out there.
Yeah, so for you guys who are watching from home, that can happen very fast. That could happen today, certainly with the women. We've been waiting for the really optimal conditions, so we could have started running the competition earlier, but this is the final event of the year, and it is so essential that we have perfect conditions for the riders to really push themselves and show what the sport is made of.
Yeah, no, and they have been. We've seen them warming up today a little bit earlier. Waves are starting to pick up, as we say. Sun is shining. Beautiful Dakhla, Morocco, GK Kite-Surf World Cup. Let's check out the action because women's heat number 5 is on the water.
Let's go.
Okay, so here we can see already heat number 5 of the ladies. We have Charlotte Carpentier out there. A few of the girls getting ready. Let's see what the action is happening because, as we said before, waves are starting to increase. Okay, so here we can see Katja just getting ready, as we mentioned before. Heat number 5 of the ladies is going to be going out on the water.
Okay, so welcome back everybody to the GK Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla, and man, have we got some action out there on the water, because let's not forget, today is the day, if we can get through these ladies rounds, that we will be crowning our Women's World Champion. Let's talk a little bit about the scenarios we've got out there. If Peri Roberts makes her way all the way to the semi-finals, she is going to be crowned world champion. Then you have Charlotte Carpentier, we got Catharina Edin, and a couple other girls that have possibilities to be able to claim that crown. Let's see what is going to go in that battle for the crown. As we're saying about the men, if James Carew can make it through to the world champion title, he is going to have to make it all the way to the quarterfinals. So now let's see what action is out on the water, as there I can see Marcella Witt coming from Brazil on the F1 kite. Okay, so everybody, welcome back. Day 2 of the GK Kite-Surf World Cup, and in the water we have Marcella Witt from Brazil, and she is up against Charlotte Carpentier. These are two of the strongest riders we have out there at the moment. Marcella, very talented surfer from Brazil, superstar TV star out there as well, and really good to see her making her way all down here to the desert. And here we can see her grabbing a little bit of a wave, going backside here in Dakhla, and obviously Goofy Foot rider. Waves are far and few between. Sets are about every 10 minutes, 12 minutes, and the heats are 22 minutes with a 3-minute transition. So looking forward to see some of the action out there on the water. So there you can see Charlotte Carpentier trying to make her way out to the point to see if she can start getting some waves out there. We are currently on green flag for women's heat number 5. Charlotte Carpentier versus Marcella Witt. Charlotte also is one of the possible contenders for the World Championship. What would have to go down for her to be able to grab the title is Peri would have to lose in the quarterfinals, and then Charlotte would have to win the Dakhla event if she would like to take the title. It's going to be very hard with a lot of the heavy hitters out there, but Charlotte, we've seen it before, very tough contender, and going to be interesting to see how the battle for this wild title in Dakhla is going to go down. As we said before, if you guys are on the stream and make some comments, want some questions from some of the girls, want to know some of the stuff, what's happening, kite sizes, etc., just throw in some comments there on the YouTube or on the Facebook, and we will get to you as soon as possible. I try to keep up with all the comments. Okay, so looking like out at the water at the moment, Charlotte Campetia is not being able to have a couple of waves. Still waiting to see some of the scores as the judges. What are we looking for? 100% waves. We're looking for fluidity. We're looking for style. Hitting the wave in the sweet spot, connecting, linking moves, and really wave selection. These are some of those things that we saw yesterday, and this is what the judges are going to be giving those extra kudos. And here we can see the Brazilian running up the point as conditions are light. Good strategy there to try and maintain herself on that top right-hand side, just in front of the West Point Hotel, and be able to roll the little right-hand point break we have here. One of the longest waves in the Atlantic in front of Dakhla. Okay, here we have Marcella going to try and take off on this little roller. You can see the wind is light and gusty. It's shifted a bit out there, so hopefully as the tide comes in, it will shift back to normal and we'll be able to get some solid hits. It does open up. Okay, first turn. Nice bottom turn. Want to be going a little bit more vertical, but does kind of try and let the tail loose there. Very hard riding these offshore conditions. When it comes to going backside, still numbers on the board. It is all about getting those scorecards. 1 point can make the difference, and you can be making your way through to the next round. So going to be interesting to see how the judges are going to be scoring this one, because conditions are definitely marginal out there at the moment. As you can see, all the girls running up the beach. Very light conditions out there. I can already see our race director, Juan Antonio, sticking his head out the judge tails to make sure that it is just a low in the gust. Let's not forget, day 2 of competition, heat number 5 of the ladies on the water. Yesterday, we were able to get through 3 rounds of the men. And now looking to see how our girls, our warriors out there on the water, are going to be able to handle the conditions here in Dakhla. Top 2 waves out of 10 waves are the ones that will count, you know, aiming for that 20-point average. But at the moment, it does look like it is very light out there, and hopefully conditions are going to improve throughout the day. Once again, both of the riders entering the water to see if they can grab what looks like a little gust. I can see some white caps out there. Sometimes, you know, wave riding, you can go on the smallest kites as long as you can just barely keep up wind. Some riders prefer to be underpowered. And here you can see both of them just waiting out for the set to try and get some numbers. Because, you know, once we've been saying before, it's about getting those numbers on the scorecard. Marcella Witt, we can see managing to get another wave. One initial turn. Let's see if she has enough power to make a couple more ones. And no, unfortunately, just going off on the shoulders. The judges want to see the verticality. They want to be able to see going up. And here you can see also Marcella linking another one. So probably the longest wave we've seen yet. But still, we want to be seeing some things a little bit more vertical and a little bit more power. And once again, Charlotte's kite is down, unfortunately. While we're waiting for some action on the water as we're in heat number 5, we're going to go down to the beach with Gemma. As I can see, she is there with Kata. Gemma, how are they feeling?
Thanks a lot, Joe. Everything is good here. I'm just catching up with Gada. You just had the first heat of the day. You won your heat. Tell me how the conditions were.
Yeah, we've been waiting here all morning for the wind to finally come into the right direction. It's been offshore in the morning and I was trying it out, but it's been really light. Yeah, I'm on my 12 meter. That's the biggest kite that I have here, and the conditions are pretty tricky. You have to really time it with the waves out there, get on a wave and ride in, and then walk back up on the beach. So yeah, the conditions are really hard, but yeah, happy to have the first heat out of the way, and yeah, let's see how it's going.
Gata, you're actually in the world title race here. You do stand a chance if Peri doesn't make it past the semifinals. How do you feel about that? Do you feel some pressure?
Not really. I haven't even thought about that really. So yeah, I feel pretty confident, and yeah, I feel like I'm finally finding a little bit of a rhythm. It was really hard in my heat, but if the wind stays, I'm sure it's going to be a good one.
Awesome. Well, I wish you lots of luck. We'll let you get back to it, and we'll see you after your next heat.
Thank you so much, Emma.
Okay, thanks a lot. Back to you, Joe. Thank you, Gata.
Thank you, Gemma. Yeah, really good to see Kata there with the vibes coming through the booth. Yes, Kata. Very talented young lady, and as we said, she has a minimum chance to be world champion, so really looking forward to see all the girls push this. This is why it's a final. This is the really cool. They can push down. They can really, you know, dig deep. Various contenders out there, and on the water, one of the main ones at the moment, Charlotte Carpentier. But conditions, as we've been saying, are very marginal at the moment. Hopefully it is going to improve. So day 2, heat number 5 of the ladies, and there you can see our stage. That is the West Point Hotel all the way out the back, where we can see that blue F1 kite with Marcella Witt, who's in this heat, waiting to see if she can get out on the water. The West Point Hotel here in Dakhla is literally, you can wake up or have a shower and fall into the ocean. It is such a perfect location. And as Gemma and I were saying before, it is one of the longest right-handers in the Atlantic, so definitely worth a trip if you guys and girls can get yourselves down. So nice to be back in an event, and so nice that traveling is getting a bit easier and being able to start to move around and see people that we haven't in a while. And what a place to have the final leg here of the GKA Kite-Surf World Cup down in Morocco. And hopefully we will see conditions improving. As I can see Marcella there, she's about to start blowing on her kite to see if she can get going. Wind does seem to have dropped, and as I can see our race director, Juan Antonio, very close to putting postponement. But still, green flag is in the air, so we are still on, and action going to be happening very soon. There you can see the boys from Duotone just having a nice little trip there. A couple of the contenders, and there was Mr. Carew. And there we have our judging crew getting ready. Green flag in the sky, like I said, for this heat number 5 of the ladies. There I can see Juan Antonio, our head judge. That is Danny a little bit to the left. Alvarito Nievo, Paulino Pereira hidden behind the bamboo, and Rui there in the corner as well. Those are the boys. That is our judging crew. And really cool to be here with them for the final leg of the competition. Just waiting to see how much longer we are going to be on hold. Green flag is still in the sky, but the girls are having a very hard time in this heat at the moment. And flag going down, meaning there is 1 minute left, and we will be moving on to the next heat. Okay, so there we can see Charlotte making her way out. Looks like she's seen a set, so I guess she's just going to try and get on the wave. Yet here you can see already driving out. So knows that, you know, both of the girls don't have big scores. Only had kind of a couple waves each with maybe 1 turn. So it can be anybody's heat. Sometimes this is how competitions are. You just got to deal with what you got. This is what we're looking for. The best rider on the planet. And you can do it in the flats, in the waves, in the bump, in the chop, and in the brump. So hopefully we'll be able to see both of these girls going through. As we said, this is round number 3 of the ladies. And let's see who will make it through to the next round. Okay, and then I can hear the buzzer, meaning that is red flag. So that is the end of this heat in between Marcella and Charlotte. Scores will be coming shortly, and we'll be announcing who will be going through. And coming up next, we are going to be going into heat number 6 of the ladies. Okay, so coming up next, we have heat number 6 of the ladies. We have Capucine Delannoy, one of the most talented youngsters we have. This girl in strapless freestyle is rolling at the moment. And then also we have Carla Herrera, our former world champion, very complete rider. And also we have Camilo Lozano, also a young ripper, coming all the way from Switzerland. Hangs out a lot in my local town in Tarifa. So really looking forward to see how she does here in the waves. When it comes to strapless freestyle, this girl rips, but it's yet to see her on a wave. You know, really looking forward to seeing the action out there. And there you have on screen, that is Charlotte. Just trying to wait to see on some results and see how she did in that heat, because conditions were very marginal during it. And there also you can see the Brazilian coming off of the water, Marcella Witt. So both of these girls are going to see, waiting for results. Marcella, a big surfing background, as we said before, has her own TV show in Brazil. And just coming towards us right now. Okay, so as we said, next in the water we have Camille, we have Capucine, we have Carla. Let's see who is going to come through on these three girls. Very big strapless freestyle talent of all three of these riders, but I will say I think it is probably Carla Herrera has a little bit more wave knowledge. Conditions are small. She knows what it is to have the pressure. Let's see if the youngsters can stick up to her and give her a fight. We've seen it day after and day in and day out. This place is just producing the goods. Had some great waves yesterday. swell is a little bit down today, but it's looking like the swell is going to increase tomorrow. And then also mid-tide is kind of where this place starts to, the magic starts to happen. And you have this right-hand peeler coming all the way off the back there. So that, as you can see, just where they're going in, that's kind of where the wave begins. It's got a middle flat section. And then when you come further down the line, at the end, it kind of jacks up a little bit, and you can get a couple of hacks on it with me. So looking to see the action here today, day 2 in Morocco. If you're just joining us, GK Kite-Surf World Cup in Dakhla. water straight away, hit onto it and try and get a wave. Conditions hard out there at the moment, but hey, this is the World Cup and these are the best of the best. Battling against themselves and Mother Nature, as the great Tron Alone would say back in the day. And yeah, hopefully Mother Nature will throw a couple of gems our way, 5 or 10 more knots of wind, and a couple of feet more of waves, and we'll be enjoying the beautiful location that this right-hander off of West Point really can produce. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the scores. So, it is Camilla who is in the lead with a 7.70. Then we have Capucine Delannoy with a 5.80. And we have Carla with a 4.54. Camille really connecting a few, winning by 1.90. Had a big score of 4.47 in the first wave. And then that second one getting a 3. So, a very good combination there for her. Capucine, a mid-2 and a mid-3. Adding up to that 5.8. So great riding there from all of the girls, but it is Camille from Switzerland who is in the lead. Both of the riders, Carlo Herrera and Camilo Loseran, just waiting, as we said before, to see if they can get some waves. Come on, Mother Nature. Show us some love. Show us some love. We know you have some, and hopefully we'll be able to see some of that coming here in Dakhla. So this is heat number 6 of the ladies in the water. Round 3, heat number 3 of the round 3 of the girls. Camilo Loseran in the lead. Then we have Capucine Delannoy and Carlo Herrera in third position so far. But anything can change. Just over 5 minutes left in this heat. Let's see if we can have some more action out there. Okay, so while we are waiting to see some more action out there, if I'm not mistaken, I can see out of the corner of my booth, Gemma is there with Marcella Witt, who just won her last heat. Gemma, how's she feeling?
Thanks a lot, Joe. Marcella, I am so happy to see you back here with us in Dakhla. It's been a while. You just won your first heat. You're back on tour. Where have you been? What have you been doing?
COVID time was a bit tricky to travel, so I didn't go to the last stop. I couldn't go. But I'm so happy to be here, and I can't believe I won. I just arrived like yesterday and I couldn't train and I just went straight to my heat. I'm super happy, really, especially against Charlotte because she's super good and she's riding like so good this wave. So I'm like, I can't believe.
Tell me a little bit about the conditions, the waves, the wind. What are you finding?
The wind is really tricky, it's hard and gusty, but I think for the next days we're gonna have like a really good conditions, they're saying. So I can't wait, but today was tricky, was hard. It was really hard.
Thank you, Marcella. A little message to everyone back in Brazil who are watching online.
Can I speak in Portuguese?
Yes, please do.
Oi, gente, tô aqui, tô muito feliz de estar aqui. Muito bom estar representando o Brasil. Daqui a pouco eu tô de volta, espero que com um troféu.
Thank you so much, and I'm so happy to see you again. Good luck for your next heat. We'll hopefully see you back here.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Gemma. Great to see the smile on Marcella's face. That is Stoke if I've ever seen it. And as she said there, just back to the guys and girls in Brazil. She hopes to come home with a trophy. And, you know, she has the skills and the surf out there. Going to be interesting she can see if she can do that. So once again, parabéns, Marcella. And coming up next, let's see who is out there on the water, as that is Camille turning it. Okay, so there we have Capucine coming out of the water. Coming up on the last minute and a half of this heat. And Capucine Delannoy. Free raves coming in with a 5.83 at the end of that one. Meaning that she is currently in the lead for this heat. So a 9.0 total score for Capucine. So what has she got there? She's got a 3.17 and a 5.83. Then we have Camille Loserand with a 7.70 total, a 4.47 and a 3.23 there total. And a 6.17 for Carla. So very close in between them at the moment. And there you can see Miss Herrera coming down on a wave. Howard had a couple of decent turns. Has to get a little bit more power at the top. Okay, let's see. Whacking the tail out a little bit on, pretty much doing the most she can on that little inside mush. And connecting yet another one. I reckon that's going to be a good score for her. Closing 20 seconds of that heat. If you're going to throw it down, it was going to be then. So intelligent ride in there from former world champion. And now let's see if that is going to be enough to take the win in this heat, because she is currently in third, but she only needs a 4.41 ride to be able to go into that first position. So I reckon there might be a little bit of a mix-up and a switch around. So let's see what happens in the closing seconds of the heat. Okay, so as we said, closing seconds of the heat here. If we're not mistaken, we just have a little timer issue. I can see Camille Loserand still in second position, so we're just waiting for those scores to be dropped, because that last wave from Carla I thought wasn't too bad, and yep, I was right, a 3.23. So still means she is in third position, but much closer. Needs a 4.41, and now let's see what is going to happen. Let's see what is going to happen in the end of this heat, as I can see Capucine coming out of the water. Okay, so Camille still circling like a little shark from Switzerland in front of the West Point to see if she can get yet another set wave. She needs a 4.54. So pretty much all of the girls, they need fours if they want to overtake Capucine Delannoy. in this heat number 3 of round 3 of the girls. And there we can see Capucine. Wow, conditions really are light out there. The girls are struggling to keep on the wave and being pulled off the shoulder. Hopefully, a little bit of air will give us a little bit more wind, and we are able to see some more action out here on the water. So, okay, so yeah, that is official. There we can see red flag in the sky, meaning that is the end of that heat. Heat number 6 of the ladies. Now we're going to be moving through to heat number 7 of the girls. So we have Kiani Rodriguez from Brazil, and she is up against Peri Roberts, the main contender for the World Championship. So that is going to be the heat coming up on the water next, but I do see our race director, Juan Antonio, looking out the window because from my booth, it does look very marginal out there. So let's see what the decision is going to be. If we're going to go on hold, if we're going to be continue competing, we will get that info for you very shortly. But now let's have a look as we will have Kiani Rodriguez and Peri Roberts on the water. Yeah, next one is West Point commercial. So if you send me back to the... Lady coming towards us, meaning that, if I'm not mistaken, Capucine Delannoy. Yes, I'm not. Capucine Delannoy was the winner of that last heat. And there I can see Camille as well. Very good riding in between those two ladies. And we're going to get an interview with them very shortly. And I can see that Cassiani from Brazil just all the way up there on the point to start off with our heat, because our heat is coming up in about 1 minute. And again, it looks like she's going to be using the same strategy we've seen out there. As we've been mentioning before, conditions and forecast is not looking great, so we are having to push. We're having to push in suitable but marginal conditions. Hopefully that is going to increase. The waves are going to pick up. The wind is going to prevail, and we know Dakhla is going to go off with a bang. But at the moment, we have to push because, unfortunately, wind is light and the waves are low. So, yeah, we need to get the result in there. But before we start off with this heat, yeah, I can see in front of me that I have Gemma is down there with Capucine and Camille. Gemma, how are those girls doing?
Really good, Joe. Thanks a lot. I'm here with you two ladies. Capucine, you won that heat advancing through. How are the conditions?
The conditions were really hard. We were going up and running. It was really, we're struggling. It was hard, but it was great to be in the water.
Yeah. And how do you feel about this event? Are you optimistic that you're going to progress very well?
I don't know. I'm just going to see during the hits. I'm really happy to be here. It's my second wave event, and yeah, I'm just really happy to advance in the second hit.
Awesome. Congratulations. That was great riding. We look forward to seeing you in the next round. Camille, it's very nice to see you here on the water. I believe this is your first World Cup heat you've done with us. You were with us in Denmark, but unfortunately we had no win, so you didn't get to compete. How was the experience for you?
For me, it's a very nice experience competing against Capucine. And yeah, the conditions were not that easy, but I did my best, and very happy to be here competing with everyone. So yeah.
Are you planning on doing all of the World Tour stops with us from now on?
Yeah, for sure. I just need to improve my wave skills because I never trained before in it. But yeah, for sure I will be here and competing in the World Tour.
It's really exciting to see you guys, new up-and-coming talent, joining us here on the tour. So congratulations, well done. You can get some rest now because I think that was a really tiring heat for both of you. We'll go back to Joe and we'll catch up with you ladies after the next heat. So thank you very much. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, girls. Really good riding there. Capucine and Camille, the youngsters, throwing it down here in Dakhla. It is amazing to see the young blood. They are coming with fire and they are coming with power. Watch out, ladies, because they are here to stay. Capucine taking the win in that last heat, and now coming out on the water, we are going to have Capucine and Peri Roberts, the contender that has the most probabilities to take the World Championship. Peri needs to make it all the way through to the semi-finals if she wants to take the crown jewels home. So keep your eyes out on the water because it looks like we are going to be starting very shortly. As we mentioned before, conditions are light. It is very marginal conditions at the moment. The girls are on probably 11-meter kites. The waves are there, but the wind, unfortunately, is not quite there at the moment. So hopefully we're having to push because the forecast is not looking great. So bear with us because we know Dakhla is going to be providing good conditions very soon. Okay, we are back. And there we can see the Moroccan flag flying high and powerful. Heat number 7 of the girls out on the water. We have Capucine Rodriguez from Brazil versus Peri Roberts. Those are the two ladies that are going to be going out. As we mentioned before, Peri Roberts from Australia, current leader, overall leader on the tour, looking for that World Championship. Let's see if she can produce the goods because she has to make it all the way through to the semi-finals if she wants to be crowned World Champion at the moment. Then if not, there's a few other scenarios that can happen. Let's have a look at what those scenarios are. So, let me get my notes here. Okay, so if Peri reaches semi-finals, she's World Champ. If Peri loses in the quarters, then the following can happen. Charlotte would need to win the Dakhla event to be World Champion. If Peri loses in round 5, then the following can happen, which is Charlotte would need to reach the final to be World Champion. And if Also, that opens up a small possibility for Catharina Edin, because she would need to win if she wanted to be world champ as well. So yeah, there's definitely a few scenarios out there, but I'm going to put my money on Peri at the moment, because when it comes to wave riding, this girl is very powerful. Liking the waves and the conditions here in Dakhla. As we said, light conditions out there. They're on 11-meter kites at the moment, and forecast is saying that the wind is going to pick up, but the forecast is not looking great for all of the rest of the day. So we're having to push a little bit more. But hey, you know, to be a world champion, you have to be able to perform in all different conditions, and this is what these girls are proving a point here in Dakhla. Okay, so we're back. Heat number 6 of the ladies. Heat 4 of round 3 of the women's here at the GK Kite-Surf World Cup in Dakhla. At the moment, we have Peri Roberts in the lead. She has had 2 waves already, a 2.83 and a 0.5, so obviously maybe just Wade will dropping in there. And now that was Kissiani, unfortunately, going head over heels on that last term. Peri, the main contender for the World Championship, wants to take that title home. Originally from Australia, she's been living in Maui for the last 6 months to a year, if I'm not mistaken, enjoying the beautiful location there of the Hawaiian Islands. Who wouldn't? And now kind of using the same strategy that most of these girls have been doing, which is staying up there on the point. When they see that set coming through, they kind of power out and then kind of run to see if they can get on that wave. Day 2 of competition here in Dakhla. And we have some action out there at the moment. Also, we're just going to see, waiting to have information to see if we're going to be moving over to the guys after this round number 3 of the ladies, or if we're going to be continuing on with the girls. And here we can see Peri just getting pulled off the back of that wave. Offshore conditions, you really have to have the kite in the right position to be able to pull you back into the wave, and makes it even harder when it's lighter. But still, girls have been able to get a couple of turns out there. Waves do look like it's starting to come up a little bit. The sets are closer and closer between. But yeah, just need 5 to 10 knots more wind, and we are golden. Cooking with gas, as they would say down under. Okay, so Peri running up the beach to see if she can just stay a little bit more upwind. And the eye, the face behind the lens. There we can see Sveta getting the shots, our photographer. Peri getting some help with some of the local boys just to make her way up to the point. I'm going to start doing a wind dance here in the stream. Hope you guys are enjoying so far. I'm going to start dancing around to see if we can get some more knots here. Où est le vent, boys and girls, please. Adrian, I can see Mr. Kite-Surf 365 joining us here on the stream. Hope you're doing all right, mate. Gonna have to get you down on one of these one days, connect you remotely or something. Boys are doing a killer job over there on the big air kite lead, together with Mr. Colin Carroll. And yeah, wow. It is very light out there. That is Kessiani struggling to get past the break. There is lulls in between these sections, and it is very gusty out there on the point, and as the wind does die, it gets even gustier. So interesting to see what the technical advisors and the race directors of the event will say due to these conditions. I can see them looking out the corner of the judging tower as they is right on the limit, but still at the moment, green flag in the air. Green flag high and flying high, meaning that we are still go, go, go. Green light for the old heat number 7 of the women. And hopefully we'll be able to see some turns, some hacks, some speeds, some airs and some spins very shortly. Okay, so here we have Peri Roberts dropping in on a little foam ball. Still not in the critical section of the wave. She's way behind it there. And once again, looks like she's having issue keeping her kite in the sky when she does that bottom turn. It is not... It ain't good out there. It ain't good at the moment, but hey. Really interesting to see if we are going to be continuing on with this heat, because we have had quite a few minutes without any good conditions. So waiting now. I will be keeping everybody updated. All of us want action. I want action. You want action. Everybody wants to see the action out there on the water. And Dakhla, the waves are there. Sets are far and few between. You know, we've got, you know, hip high, shoulder high, 2 to 3 foot waves coming through on the sets, and then a little bigger as it does come through. But we will now see if that will increase throughout the day. Once again, Peri utilizing the old Moroccan conveyor belt out here along the beach. This girl's got a lot of support. I'm liking the love that she's getting from all of the riders. This is a family vibe. It is a community. It is one big family under the roof here of the Moroccan sun. Waves, I'm looking out the corner of my booth here. Sets are coming through. We just need some more wind. As we've been mentioning before, if you're just joining us, Day 2 GK Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla, Morocco, the final stage of the championship. World champions are going to be crowned at this event. And at the moment, wind has dropped a bit. I reckon it's probably around 12 knots at the moment. Girls are out on 10s, 11s. I've even seen some 12s out there. And as you can see, they're having a hard time keeping those kites in the sky. Very, very marginal at the moment. And as the tide is pushing up, I think hopefully the waves will start increasing. And normally around 2 to 3 o'clock yesterday, at least, the wind did start to pick up and kick in. So let's see if Day 2 is going to be the same, because we had some good action yesterday. But wait until you see the action to come, because forecast is looking very good from the 9th onwards. I am loving some of these comments on the streams, guys. Thank you very much. Bear with us. Forecast is not looking great. Conditions are marginal, but they are suitable at the moment. Yes, Glossure, you do need wind to kite. One does usually go with the other. But yeah, they do have 22-minute heat. So what the racing team are doing, they are trying. So they see. But if they do see that after that 10 to 12-minute point, there have been no conditions out there, they will be throwing cancellation flags in the air. At the moment, normally what happens is 50% of the heat goes, and then they check how many scores are up there. And for example, Peri has had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 waves. Yes, very small, very marginal, not a lot of turns on them, but it means that they can actually get onto the waves and produce the goods. But still, I agree with you, conditions are marginal, but once again, bear with us because hopefully the action is going to get good, and we are going to be seeing some more hacks and some more turns down here in the desert. Okay, there you have both of the girls returning to the shore. And I think I'm going to see a kite change here from Peri. What is she doing? Okay, no, she's running up the point again. 11-meter kite in the sky for her. And I'm just seeing a 10 from Kisiani. About 10 to 12 knots, I'm going to say, at the moment. It is very light out there. Longer heats, 22 minutes heats. Top 2 waves count. 10 wave attempts to produce the goods and the scores to get the extra love and kudos and shakers from our judges to go through to the next rounds. But yeah, let's see if currently we'll be able to continue through. Okay, let's go. I think we're going to start to tell some stories here at the moment because conditions, as we said, and I keep saying, and I hope everybody does understand this, are very marginal. Let's tell a few stories about what's been happening throughout the tour. So as we know the pandemic has come along and has stopped a lot of the events. One of the first wave events that has counted for this season as well has been Cape Verde from 2 years ago. In that event, we saw Ines Correa and James Carew take the win. James Carew, that was the first event win for him, and pretty much ever since then, we've seen the fire, we've seen the power, and we've seen the Aussie hungry, as we know, for that world title. Then, unfortunately, pretty much for almost a year, we didn't have any competitions, and we have to say a big shout out to all of our brand partners, all of the event organizers, because everybody kind of got into a huddle and made the most out of things for it to be able to continue, for the tour to stay alive, for us to be able to continue. And now, as the pandemic's starting to get a little bit looser and a little bit easier, we can start to enjoy the action out on the beach and the water. So after that, we've had a couple more events. We saw the event in Denmark. We saw that great event we had in Sylt there in Germany, where they had those amazing conditions. And then, unfortunately, we went all the way to Vidarsande in Denmark, and conditions just did not play with us. Mother Nature did not allow us to be able to compete in the water. But man, does that place have potential! And I'm looking forward to go back there soon. In Sylt in Germany, we also saw Pedro Matos, Ayrton Cozzolino, and once again James Carew taking the win. Year and a half off, and you could really see them pushing that big air. Is one of the things we've been seeing both on twin tip and on strapless freestyle. The boys here with the strapless boards just going to the sky, and also Peri really proving a point in Sylt, being able to kind of take that first position on the overall ranking, thanks also to what happened down in Cape Verde. So then coming into this event, what happens? James Carew in the overall lead, Ayrton Cozzolino and Pedro Matos and Machu Lopez following him, biting on his ankles, and all of them are very hungry. Ayrton and Machu already had world titles, and Pedro current seed number 2, and then Peri also in the lead, and having Capucine and Charlotte running in behind her. So that's a little bit of history of what has been happening on the tour so far over this year and a half when it comes to the strapless freestyle and the strapless waves. And to put you guys into a little bit of situation, and it looks like both of these girls have just had a little bit of a wave, or let's say a little bit of a whitewater in that last minute, and hopefully we'll be able to see some scores. Very, very hard conditions out there, both for the girls on the water, and for us commentating here on the stream. So throw some comments out if you have questions about riders. We're going to try and get some people in the booth also, making, talking about what they're feeling, how it is, the vibe. If you want us to talk to specific riders, just give us a shout. It's a team effort, guys and girls, and I hope you enjoy the show. But the one thing we're hoping for the most out of all of us is that the wind kicks in, the action comes out, the waves pick up, and we can just have everybody out there on the water. And there is that red flag, meaning that is the end of that heat. And hopefully we will see some more action coming very soon, as if I'm not mistaken, we are going to be continuing with the ladies. Okay, so yep. It does seem like we are going to be continuing on with the girls. I will confirm that. But before we get that confirmation, I'm going to run out of the booth and see what Juan Antonio says for the continuation of the event. But before we do that, let's go to a commercial break. Okay, so welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. And there is the beautiful sunny location here in Dakhla, GKA Kite-Surf World Cup in Morocco. Final leg of the competition. And now let's see who got the win in that last heat. Just waiting for results to be dropped. And by the looks of it, yes, it is. Peri Roberts from Australia has taken the win in that last round of the ladies. Now we're going to be interested to see. Still waiting to get confirmation if we're going to be continuing on with the girls or if we're going to be moving on to the guys. So far, that would mean that we've just completed round number 3 of the ladies, and then we will be moving over to round number 4. Aha, Mr. Fadi Issa on the screen. One of the legends of our sports, one of our judges, just hanging out on the point to see how the conditions are and also checking out priority. Because one of the things when it comes to surfing conditions, it is the priority to see who is on the wave first, who makes that turn, so there's no staking, so it's all fair. So it's good to have Fadi out there. Big double shaka and shouts out to him. And also flying that green flag, me and we are going and continue on with the next heat on the water. And still waiting to see results. It does look like Peri Roberts had it, just waiting for that confirmation to come in. I can see Gemma in the corner of my booth starting to get ready to have that interview, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, okay, so it is confirmed. Miss Roberts from Australia, our current leader, is still in the lead and in the game, winning that last heat over Kisiani Rodriguez. And just waiting for that next heat to start. I'm seeing a few more white caps out the back there. So hopefully that means that we will be able to get some better hits and some better conditions out there. Once again, thank you everybody for joining in here on the stream. And I hope everybody is enjoying the show so far. Liking some of it there. Yeah, I can see. Hey, Alula would be good. Alula would be good. Some of those, it's impressive to see. A lot of us, that's actually a good point. Let's talk a little bit about the brands also. You know, one of the main things the brands are doing, they are changing up on when it comes to construction. And Alula is coming through. We've seen Ocean Rodeo and we've seen Duotone utilizing it to be able to go out in lighter conditions, get in those kites. If my memory serves me right, something like from 300 grams to 165 grams, so almost half the weight that the material would be. So that is so impressive. I've seen, you know, 13 meters riding, you know, 80 to 90 kilos guys in 8 knots of wind. And then if you add a foil to that, literally no wind is the limit. You're completely glassy, and it's really impressive to see where the sport is going. Great to see, you know, all the brands getting behind it, and, you know, conditions like this, Alula would be good. And then also, you know, we can see how the boards, especially on these, you know, some of the shapes. We, you know, Duotone with the fish. We've got the skate from Nash. You've got a few of the boards. A little bit more volume is needed, and you can see quite a few of the girls actually using what would be considered a freestyle board because it has that volume. So as the waves are small, it's better than having, let's say, the traditional surf style. But hey, everybody has that magic surfboard, that magic stick. So going to be interesting to see what the girls and what the guys are going to be using out there. But at the moment, it does seem like we are going to be continuing on with the ladies, as it is going to be Camille who is going to be coming out on the water next. Okay, yeah. Okay, I have just had to stick my head out of the booth. Okay, information in. AP flag is in the air, meaning that we are on standby at the moment. Conditions are marginal out there, so our race director has made the call and said, let's wait. The gusts have got even lighter. You know, the girls were pretty much on 11 and 12 meter kites and not being able to keep them in the air. So we are going to be going on standby, ladies and gentlemen. And let's see if those conditions improve. There you can see it. That's the flag. That is meaning that we are on standby here for the second day of the GK Kite-Surf World Cup in Dakhla. And hopefully we'll be able to see wind and waves. Wind and waves we want to see here in Morocco. Conditions today not looking great. And tomorrow the forecast is looking a bit better, but it is more towards the end of the week. That conditions are going to be there. Make sure to tune in and stay alert on all our social media and all our channels. We will be keeping you up to date as much as possible, and we will be here on the stream. Throw me some comments down on the YouTube and on the Facebook. I will get some topics and we start, you know, racking some things around. Okay, I can see on our screen that is our tour manager, Tom Hartman. Thank you, Tom. Just giving me a little bit more info. So let me tell everybody what is going on. Conditions are very light there at the moment. AP flag is in the air because we're going to wait to see what happens. But it does look like we are going to have a 5-minute break because we are going to be jumping the 4th round of competition. And we're going to be starting with heat number 11 of the women. So heat number 11 of the women is going to be the next one coming on the water. So bear with me I'm just going to jump out the booth for a couple of minutes, trying to get a little bit more info on everything that's going on, and we will be back right in a second. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Just a little info. We are on standby due to conditions, and we are also going to jump all the way through to heat number 11 of the ladies, as the top three heats do not have a competitor, so we can advance a little bit. Wind does look like it's picking up, but it is still on standby. But before we continue on that standby, let's go down to the beach with Gemma, as she has Peri Roberts, the current leader of the tour, winning that last heat.
Heat, guys. All right, we're back now. Sound issues there. Peri, you had a rough time, but you've made it. You're passing through. You literally have to get through one more round, and you can be crowned world champion. How are you feeling about the whole situation?
Firstly, a little sick.
Literally a little bit sick.
Literally almost just vomited running up the beach. I think I ran up like 7 or 8 times. It's so light out there. It's completely like dead wind. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to make it through. That's just one more round that I need to get, but I'm trying not to think about that yet. I just one step at a time, and make this next one, and I just want to do my best. And unfortunately, I didn't think that was my best, but the conditions aren't really providing right now. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get some more wind and make a better heat next time.
How much does this title mean to you? The opportunity to be a world champion. I mean, is this something you really thought could happen so fast?
To be honest, no. I've been on the tour for 1 full year in 2019, and I mean, I've always dreamt of being a world champion or like the best of the world in something. So this opportunity is just like, you know, once in a lifetime. I'm stoked to even be ranked #1 right now. So World Championship is just cherry on top of the cake, you know. So I'm stoked, and yeah, fingers crossed that it all works out.
We have our fingers crossed for you also. We'll let you get some rest. AP flag is still up, so let's wait and see if the conditions improve. Thanks a lot. Get some rest, and we'll see you back after.
Thank you.
Thanks, honey. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Gemma. Thank you, Peri. Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed that she can get that World Championship. Well deserved. One of the most talented surfers we have on the tour. She appeared a couple of years ago. I think the first event I saw her was down in Torquay in Australia. And this girl has the fire, and I know she can do it. So looking forward to see if she can take that title. Waiting for the conditions to come back. As I said, we are on standby at the moment, waiting for that wind to increase. I'm going to start doing a wind dance here with Gemma in the middle of the live booth, and we will be able to get that wind, get those gusts and get those waves. Bear with us, everybody. We're going to go on a small break, and hopefully we'll be able to come back with more action at the final leg of the GK Kite-Surf World Cup here in Dakhla, Morocco. So joining me here in the booth, I have Capucine, Delannoy and Marcella Witt. Welcome, girls.
Thank you.
So, guys, conditions are tough out there. Trust me, 25 minutes on the stream with those conditions, I think our jobs are equally as difficult. Tell me a little bit about it and how was it out there, and congratulations for both of you guys putting on a performance.
Thank you. Well, the conditions were so hard. We have to run to go up when we were struggling so much. But yeah, it was cool to be in the water and to be able to run the competition.
Yeah, we have windy, so it's good. We have wind, we have some waves, so at least we can compete. And it's been hard for me. I just arrived and I went straight to my heat, so I'm feeling like learning about the conditions. But yeah, I'm happy to be here in Dakhla. It's my second time in Morocco, so my first time here in Dakhla. So nice, I'm happy.
I can see the smile, Marcella. Marcella, you come from a surfing background. You live in Brazil, but you travel the world quite a lot. And one of the things that I can see you love is surfing. Here in Dakhla, this is known to be one of the longest right-hand point breaks in the Atlantic. The first day you came, you could see in the morning that the waves are forming. Tell me a little bit about what you think about this location.
I just can't think about surf foiling. And before my heat, maybe I should take my kite and go to the water, but I took my foil. I have to be honest. Maybe it's not the right or maybe not the smart decision. And I confess maybe I was like a bit crazy. But yeah, I was surf foiling for maybe 1 hour before my heat and it was just perfect. This looks like a perfect spot for a wing or foil or even surfing sometimes.
Yeah, it is really impressive. And Capucine, you live in Peri most of the time in the north of Brazil. This is very different for you, and now you're getting into surfing because we know you can strapless freestyle. You are pushing it, to say the least. But looking at you on the waves, it looks like you've been doing some homework, huh?
Yeah, well, I've been in Cape Verde for a month in February to train. And yeah, I was here 5 days before the event to get used to the spot. I don't know if I'm used to it, but I've been training on it for a bit, and yeah, it's still super hard, but I like it. I'm liking to the race riding.
So this is the first year doing the complete tour for you,
yeah.
And congratulations, you are definitely putting your mark up there. How is it feeling coming into the whole competition scene and doing that first year, that rookie year on tour with us?
Well, it feels so good. I started the year very well. I won in Zilt, and then I went on the junior competition. So yeah, it feels good. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of competition this year, but I'm really happy to be on tour with everyone, and hopefully next year we'll have more events.
Yeah, hopefully we will. The calendar is looking good. I reckon we are going to be very busy, girls. Marcella, also, you just came back from the north of Brazil. You always hang out in Rancho de Peixe in Peri there with Paolo and all of the guys. They really look after you. Why is that location so good? Because this is also your hometown.
Yeah.
I think Peri is the best place in the world for strapless freestyle. Everything I know, I learned there. And I think if you want to improve in this thing like strapless freestyle or even wing, you have to go there. It's the best place ever. She can tell.
Yeah, it's so good.
Wow, guys, yeah, definitely, thank you. And Capucine, I think we're going to have to say one thing. I hope the little big man back home, Tavo, is watching. What do you got to say about him?
I think he must be in the water right now, but yeah. He's training every day in Peri, and then I think maybe like soon he'll be on the tour too. He's dreaming about it, I think, and he's training for it too.
Well, there you have it, because let's not forget Capucine's family, the Delannoy, everybody kites, your mum, your dad,
yeah.
And Tava, I'm going to say it, Big Tava, the little brother, he is also, we're going to see him here soon, and it is great to see. There are so many young riders now coming into the scene, both on the women's and on the men. The fire is there, you can feel the push, huh?
Yeah, that's true. Like, there's so much young riders. In Tarifa during the Junior World Cup, I was really surprised to see how much like young riders were doing strapless, and they were doing it very well, and they were so young.
Yeah, no, it is great to see. Well, thank you very much, girls, for joining me here in the stream booth. Hopefully, looking like there's a couple of little white waters. If not, I think, Marcella, you're going to be go surfboarding for a little bit. So
For sure.
win-win for everybody. I hope you wish you guys the best of luck. And one more time, thank you for being here in Dakhla with us.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay, guys, well, there you have it. Marcella Witt, Capucine, Delannoy here at the GK Kite-Surf World Cup in Dakhla. And now we are still on standby. AP flag is in the sky, but bear with us because I know that the Moroccan wind is going to come in and we're going to have action on the water.